Hello everyone, I'm Aditya and this is a walkthrough of LendSure, a production-ready credit risk decisioning engine that I built end-to-end to help lenders make faster, transparent, and data-driven credit decisions. Before we go through the UI, here's how the system works under the hood. Databricks handles feature engineering and calibrated probability of default model training. MLflow manages versioning, staging, and automated model production and promotion. A fast API backend on Azure Container Apps handles live scoring. The front end is a lightweight React interface designed for underwriters. And finally, GitHub Actions orchestrates CI/CD for both code and models. Everything is modular, cloud native, and production ready. So now let's see how it all comes together. The landing page highlights how LendSure solves credit risk and lending challenges in high default risk, inconsistent underwriting, and poor explainability using calibrated ML, Euro style features, and real time pricing. Basically, I'll enter a national ID, basis which the raw data is fetched, fed into a pre processing engine, and finally the model to get the final model results. To begin with, here is a customer profile. The section captures borrower details, demographics, employment income, and similar to real onboarding journey. Finally, moving on to the risk score. The risk score is generated using a calibrated probability of default model. Raw gradient boosted decision ensembles outputs are passed through isotonic calibration and mapped to log odds based credit scoring framework, just like a modern bureau and IFRS 9 scoring systems. The customer receives a score of 764 and is classified as low risk with only 1% of the bureau profiles performing worse. Then we move on to the key metrics. This captures the main metrics which drives any credit risk decisioning, especially for the retail products like total obligation, monthly income, debt to income ratio, payment history, and credit utilization. Finally, we move on to the risk-based pricing and FOIR limits section. The platform computes personalized pricing using a risk-adjusted pricing engine, wherein the borrower's calibrated probability of default determines their individual risk premium. Credit limits are calculated using a FOIR-based affordability engine, ensuring approved amounts are consistent with income, obligations, and risk exposure. Then we move on to the AI analysis summary. This is where the LendSure becomes extremely powerful, right? The system uses an LLM layer to convert raw model outputs, calibrated PD, log odds, scores, feature impacts, risk category, FOIR, etc., into a fully interpretable decision summary. All of this is passed into a structured JSON payload into the LLM, which then generates a final underwriting recommendation, a plain English explanation of the score and the positive and negative drivers, red flags requiring manual review, and the next step instructions for the credit officer. This makes decisioning consistent, auditable, and instantly understandable for any of the business teams. Then we have the document sources, basically the different documents that I pulled to get the data. And then we move on to the analysis deep dive. This is payment behavior, uh, financial position, and loan portfolio of the customer. And finally, I have baked in SHAP explainability. The SHAP visualization shows each feature's impact in log odds space, breaking down exactly how the calibrated probability of default and final credit score was formed. This supports explainability, regulatory audits, and internal risk governance. And this can be finally exported into a readable PDF that can be later used for a reference in the score of any customer. So this is LendSure, a fully explainable, calibrated, and production-grade risk engine built completely from scratch.